Good afternoon. I'm Westchester County Executive Ken Jenkins. Today is Monday, October 27th, and this is our weekly media briefing. Today we're going to hear from our municipal partner, the mayor of the village of Ardsley, Mayor Nancy Kabulian. Then we're going to talk a lot of time today about SNAP and the county's efforts to support our residents throughout this process. With Commissioner Leonard Towns from the Department of Social Services. We're going to talk about the WIC program. We're going to have both Commissioner Dr. Shalita Amler and the department's Rachel Bickoff come up, who's the WIC director, which stands for Women, Infants, and Children program. And we'll have some information regarding that particular program. We'll follow it up with the Deputy County Executive talking about everything that's going on in the nationally accredited and award-winning park system. Not sure if he has any singing that's planned this weekend, all right? we never know, but he'll let us know about everything that's going on there. But we're going to start today with our municipal guest and our municipal partner, the Village of Ardsley Mayor Nancy Kabulian. Nancy's been doing this job, a tremendous job as mayor of the Village of Ardsley, and she has this term when they talk about the things that they have going on in Ardsley, and their tagline, it says, "It takes a village, and Ardsley is that village." So with that, we are going to bring up the Mayor Nancy Kabulian.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, County Executive Jenkins, for inviting me here today. I always appreciate the opportunity to highlight the Village of Ardsley. This will be my last press conference as Mayor of Ardsley, having decided not to seek a fifth term. It's been wonderful, and I couldn't be more proud and humbled to have had this opportunity to serve. Getting to know so many people across our community throughout our villages and our county has enriched and enhanced my lives in ways I couldn't even begin to describe. As mayor, there have been challenges and there have been triumphs. I worked tirelessly to make the village stronger, more inclusive, and more vibrant, and set for the future. Over my years as mayor, we completed a comprehensive plan, a master parks and recreation plan, a road repaving plan, a sewer and stormwater mapping plan. We repaved and curbed over 90% of the village. We completed a natural resources inventory. We are a nationally recognized pollinator pathway village. We were recertified as a bronze community, and we hope to achieve silver next year. Our bond rating is high and our financials are strong. This year, we did a ribbon cutting for our new highway garage. After 38 years of working out of a temporary location, our DPW personnel, who I believe are the best in the county, have an amazing new facility. We will be adding solar panels, which will generate electricity to provide for all of our municipal buildings. We just reopened Pascone Park after a transformative renovation. We added a great lawn, a new bandstand, new inclusive playground equipment, shade structures, chess tables, benches, new lights, walking path, and a renovated new bathroom. The park is a vital resource for our residents and visitors alike. The county executive has been there many times, and we thank him for that. The newly renovated park will be enjoyed for years to come and is a symbol of pride in our community. We just completed the renovation of Bicentennial Park, which is in our downtown area, to create a sitting and lunch spot in the downtown. We are reinstalling the gazebo that was in Pascone Park to honor the gazebo that was once in Pascone Park. We are working on a total renovation and revision of our building code to put in place green building practices and make the village more attractive to developers. The aim is to have more diversified housing in the village. We are looking forward to adding electric charging stations with the county's support. We recently met with the County Stormwater Advisory Board and presented a project to help mitigate flooding in an area, and once again with the county support, we hope to start that project next year. We are working on a final design for our Welcome to Ardsley signs with our new logo. We were the first village in the town of Greenburgh to put up military tribute banners, and next year we will have 142 of them in the village. It will go through every street in the village. Of course, we continue to celebrate our diverse village. We also were the first village in the town of Greenburgh to put up pride flags to recognize our LGBTQ community. We recently hosted our first Hispanic Heritage Month event, and we just completed an 18-month project which resulted in an amazing quilt made by squares made by dozens of community members depicting what Ardsley means to them. It's currently hanging on our library. I want to thank the county executive for this opportunity. It has been my honor to work with you and your team. I know you will continue to do the best for Westchester, and I look forward to working with you in other capacities. I am so proud of Ardsley. We are a village that has shown in so many ways that we may be small, but we are mighty, and we get things done. Our future is bright, and Ardsley's foundation has never been stronger. Thank you again. And as the county executive previously mentioned, this is for you. All right? It takes a village, and we are that village.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for all you've done.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, and that's Nancy Kabulian, and as she said, she decided that she was not going to seek re-election this year after her 5 terms as the Ardsley village mayor, and she did run through a litany of things that have happened. Whenever you go through Ardsley, Pasco and Park is that heartbeat. It's close to the schools, it's part of the school grounds as well, but it is a heartbeat, and everything that happens mostly at Pasco and Park. So again, and so in Bicentennial Park, which also includes your Veterans Memorial, if I remember correctly, there was a little bench and recognition there as well. Again, all those kind of things are only part of the things and the great work that the mayor has done in bringing things together with new master plans, a vision moving forward to the future. And certainly during this particular time, the residents are picking who will succeed Mayor Kabulian. But you know what? At the end of the day, you have a mark, and again, you're not going anywhere. There's some things, we'll see what things are happening. And again, during COVID, with Dr. Amler, who will be up later on, when we had different things that were happening, 2 of the places where we had members of immigrant communities coming in, Ardsley took on a whole different level. Working and coordinating through everyone that wanted to help participate. And the mayor was out there making sure that everyone knew that they were welcome in the village of Ardsley. And the 2 places were in Yonkers, there are 3, Yonkers, Ardsley, and in White Plains. And if you recognize, 2 of those are cities, and 1 was a village. And again, Mayor Kabulian did a great job bringing people together, people that wanted to help, people that wanted to support, and whether that was down in Macy Park or even at Pesco and Park, but making sure that everyone felt understood, welcomed, etc. And because of the volunteer combination nature of fire services, EMS services, there's a lot of things that happen. And again, Ardsley is one of our villages that's a hub. I won't say it's the favorite village. I'll get myself in trouble with everyone with the 45 municipalities in Westchester. But certainly Ardsley is better off, and you left it better than you came, which is everyone's job when we take on any of these roles that we have. So again, thank you for everything you've done, Nancy Kabulian, Mayor Nancy Kabulian, the mayor of the village of Ardsley. And again, thank you. I actually talk about this shirt a lot. So I'm glad I have one now, right? Could be an honorary member of the Village of Ardsley diversity team as things go on. So thanks once again. Up next, I know that there's a lot of information that's going on right now regarding the SNAP program, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Some people think of it as the food stamp component of things, and those dollars are running out. So 2 different things are happening at the same time as it relates to SNAP. So one side of that particular discussion, and again, Commissioner Towns is going to come up and he's going to give us much more information, but from a high level, because we watch the comments that come across when we are advocating and talking about the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program and the changes that are happening at the federal government, which were based on H.R. 1. Some people like to say the Big Beautiful, some people say Big Ugly, but it doesn't matter. It's H.R. 1 is the name of the bill. Some changes that were happening as far as certifications were concerned and work requirements were concerned specifically. In the state of New York, we had a waiver that was going to allow things till March of 2026, that those work requirements weren't going to be necessary because of that. So many people know that many of the more challenging things that were happening in H.R. 1 were being delayed until after the 2026 elections. Well, this wasn't one of them. So these new requirements were going to go into effect in 2026. The Trump administration advised the state of New York, and then New York told all of us that those changes were going to happen on November 1st, before the shutdown happened. So we had one set of things that were happening where new requirements, and Commissioner Towns will go through all of those challenges where people, if they don't perform, they don't fill out the application, they don't talk to their case managers and get their things straightened out based on the new work requirements that are effective this Saturday, November 1st, that's one side of the equation. At the same time, because of the shutdown, a decision is being made not to do any additional funding, not to allocate additional funding to the SNAP program as well as the HEAP program, which is an energy assistance program as well, beginning on November 1st. So that is a separate issue. It is not the same thing. If there was no shutdown on November 1st, we would still have these issues. But the combination of those things are put in across the country as far as SNAP is concerned, 42 million people that will have food insecurity issues starting on November 1st. So, we always try to make sure to take and talk through these from a governmental lens and then the impact how it happens here in Westchester County. So because of that, I know that in New York State, Governor Hochul, Kathy Hochul said in New York State, 3 million New Yorkers at risk of losing the food assistance that they receive from SNAP. And for Westchester, that boils down to us to 60,000 people. And we can tell already about the numbers of families right now that have a child go hungry, like 1 in 5 families in Westchester. They have food insecurities, and insecurities means obviously different things to different people, but from a rating perspective. So I'm going to ask Commissioner Towns to come up. Let us know what things are happening here, the things we're trying to do. His team is working extremely hard to get to our residents that are participating in the SNAP program and social services, to be able to let them know what things they must do in order to have their services continue and not lose that valuable opportunity as far as SNAP concerned. Once the program dollars continue, because one day the shutdown is going to end and then those dollars will move forward. But let's keep working hard together. With that, Commissioner Leonard Towns.
Thank you, Ken. Good afternoon. As Ken said, I'm here to go over the changes in the SNAP eligibility requirements for individuals who receive those benefits. Effective November 1st, new rules will go into effect for SNAP. But it won't be every single SNAP household. And it's going to be a specific group known as able-bodied adults without dependents. We call them ABARDs. Previously, this group consisted of people from 18 to 54 who didn't have a dependent child younger than 18. Under the new rules, this group is expanding, where it will be the ages of 18 to 64 and with no dependent children under the age of 14, younger than 14. So what's happening is they're looking at a specific group of people who don't have children, who they feel are old enough, or if they do have children, they're 14 or older, and they feel these individuals can go out and get a job and engage in society. So these are single, able-bodied adults who will be impacted by this. In addition, certain prior exemptions that existed are being taken away. There's no longer going to be veterans who are exempt. There's no longer going to be homeless people who are exempt. And foster children, 18 to 24, who had a previous foster care history, they will no longer be exempt. All these individuals now have to comply with the new work rules going forward. So there are certain things that they must do to meet the work requirements. They can either volunteer, they can work, or they can participate in training for 80 hours a month total. And these are going to be things that they have to do in order to receive 3 months of SNAP in a 3-year period. So the emphasis is basically on work and having people participate in work activities. Now, work rules are nothing new. They've been a part of the DSS world, but this is a little different because it's focusing on a particular group of individuals. And so our Office of Work Activities regularly helps people find employment. We partner with our career centers, and they work together to provide training opportunities, people to get certificates, finding employment, school, education. So this is going to be something I think we can persevere through. There's also the opportunity to work with our nonprofit partners to satisfy the volunteer requirement of this new change. These programs are critical, like SNAP and public assistance. They provide a floor for people to gain stability until they move forward. And our mission at DSS is to empower people to be self-sufficient. So we are up and prepared to take on this challenge, to do what we can to help individuals move forward and receive SNAP. So we will be doing outreach. We've already sent out some mailers to everyone on SNAP to let them know that we're going to be calling you in for an appointment. And if you get this mailer, please respond to it. If you can't make the appointment, let us know. We can reschedule something new for you. But we want to have you come in, we can assess you and prepare to get you to participate as necessary. We do have a website. There's more information available. That website is socialservices.westchestergov.com. Our guidance is coming from the state, OTDA, and they are on standby. They are letting us know that there's no changes. So as of now, we are still receiving applications for SNAP. Cases are still being processed. So continue to come in, continue to apply, and business as usual until further notice. So we're in this position now where we're going to be prepared. As I said, we're sending out notices. Our teams are working with our Career Center in White Plains on Bloomingdale Road and our Career Center in Mount Vernon on Mount Vernon Avenue. So once we start participating, when you come in, we'll assign you to one of the career centers, and they will assist you to start beginning the process to participate in work. Additionally, OTDA is behind us, and they will be putting out information on a regular basis. So their website is going to be up and operational, and that is going to be otda.ny.gov/shutdown. And so at this point, there's been no decision made. It's business as usual. We're accepting the applications. We're servicing the people as usual. And as we wait for additional information, we're preparing ourselves for what may come if there are no food stamp benefits come November 1st. But I do want to say that this is what we do at Social Services. Our goal is to help individuals move forward and take it to the next level. So we're looking to embrace this challenge, stand by you as you prepare to participate with us to seek out work, employment, or training, and we're going to be successful through this challenge. Thank you very much.
That was Leonard Towns, our Commissioner of Social Services, that made sure to allow, to let us know so many of the things that were happening as far as the detail. But again, from a high-level perspective, there's two separate things that are happening both on November 1st. One of them happens to be with the modifications that were done through H.R. 1 that New York State had a waiver for, and we would have had to deal with in March, by March 31st, or is it March 1st in 2026. Obviously, that's a little bit more time than the time that we had to do this, and we were notified by New York State. Once again, we got to keep emphasizing this was a change that was part of that bill, H.R. 1, that made these requirements, those additional work requirements that Commissioner Towns pointed out. And it doesn't take consideration, and there's unintended consequences. There are people that have children that are disabled, and so certainly during Disability Awareness Month, we keep trying to let everyone know of the services that were available, and certainly those children may have been older than 14 years old, and you graduate when you turn 21 in that world, and that again, those family members received assistance through the SNAP program to make sure that there was nutritious meals that were being served for those individuals. So again, there's a lot of unintended consequences whenever, and as a recovering legislator, as the Deputy County Executive and myself are, that we understand that sometimes when you do a law, there are unintended consequences. And in this case, one, moving up the date was seeming to be more of a reaction to just the way that the federal government is working at this particular moment in time, when you don't have a level of consistency and understanding when things change by the hour. we're able to make modifications, and the great people in the Department of Social Services continue to try to adjust from that. But it came from the state based on whatever the federal government changes are, and we keep having to say this, that it's the federal government that made these change. We're just reacting and responding to that change to be able to move forward. So the governor is definitely, Governor Kathy Hochul in the state of New York is fast-tracking $30 million in some state funds to help support 16 million meals, and that's fantastic. That'll be able to do a little bit of an assistance, but we have some big challenges ahead, depending on how long the shutdown continues, and people understanding that that's what the fight is about at our federal level, to make sure that they're dealing with affordability, healthcare costs, which could be tripling for folks, as well as this food insecurity. And remembering it's a choice. That right now the federal government could say we're going to utilize this different set of emergency funds to do this, but they're choosing not to. So again, it's a challenge that we have these federal changes that, in a word that many people are utilizing across the country, depending on, doesn't matter which side of the aisle they're on, that some of those changes feel cruel, unnecessary, and completely out of touch with normal reality that people have to fight through every day. So we're going to keep working through this as the administration and folks in Washington on these bills, which don't go down to that level of working families, seniors, veterans, and young people trying to get by. Again, these dollars are just not they're essential dollars of those things that are going on. Today I was actually at an opportunity with our friends at Feeding Westchester, with Liberty Lines and Stop and Shop, who provided that Stuff a Bus opportunity to help do that. And we were unpacking the bus for that today for Feeding Westchester to distribute to the 175 food pantries that they have, and which you have seen across the country. No matter which place it is that food pantries are running out of food. So the local food pantry runs out of food, and then there's a challenge on just trying to move forward and doing that. There's just so many people in food insecurity. And that's only one thing. We're concerned about the Home Energy Assistance Program, which is being delayed indefinitely as far as funding for that. I think in Yonkers, I woke up this morning and it was in the 30s, right? Which means for us, mostly the heat is on. I tried to hold out. I usually try to hold out until Halloween. It just didn't work out that way. But again, that's 30s in Yonkers. So in our northern suburbs, in Westchester County, we could have people in the lower 30s. I saw some places in New York State that were in the 20s this morning in watching the weather reports. The Home Energy Assistance Program, especially with all the challenges, whether you're in the Con Ed region or the New York State Electric and Gas region, those things are very helpful. And again, it's income eligible people for these programs. These are not programs that are just available to everybody. And a quote, again, there's always unintended consequences when people want to say able-bodied workers. What does that mean? And what other things are happening in your life that we are also already supporting through other government initiatives. So we're deeply concerned here in Westchester County, and certainly what we're calling on our colleagues down in Washington, especially in the House and Senate. On the Republican side, they need to do this work by negotiating and managing with people. It's nice to be able to just say we're not doing anything, but I'm talking, as we show in Westchester, it does take a village, and all of us need to be working together to be helping to support the people government is supposed to be working on, and that's all of these folks here. So with that, we're going to have another program, the Women, Infants, and Children's Program, which is managed and under the Commissioner of Health, the Department of Health. Commissioner Dr. Shalita Amler is going to come up with the WIC Director, Rachel Bickhoff. So at this point in time, Commissioner Amler.
Thank you, County Executive. I'm happy to introduce Rachel Bickhoff, a registered dietitian who leads our Women, Infant, and Children's Program, or WIC, here in Westchester County. WIC is really all about helping pregnant women new moms and young children up to age 5 get a healthy start in life. The program makes it easier for families to bring home fresh fruits and vegetables, dairy, whole grains, and other nutritious foods. But it is more than that. WIC dietitians like Rachel work closely with families to explain why good nutrition matters so much, especially during those early years when children are growing and developing so quickly. And Rachel, I have to say that some of the best recipes I have that my family loved the most are recipes that I got from the WIC program. As a pediatrician, I saw every day how powerful healthy eating can be for a child's mind and body. WIC helps parents build those healthy habits from the very beginning and gives them the tools and confidence to make good choices for themselves and for their families. And now I'd like to ask Rachel to come up and tell us a little bit more about this program. And I also want to reassure you that at the present time, despite the government shutdown, WIC is still in business and we're still offering our services to the public. And if it changes, we will definitely let you know. Rachel.
Thank you, Dr. Amler, and thank you, County Executive Jenkins, for sharing the spotlight with our WIC program today. I'm Rachel Bykoff, Director of the Westchester County Department of Health WIC program. We currently serve over 6,300 families across the county through our 2 offices in Yonkers and Portchester. WIC, which stands for Women, Infants, and Children, as you've heard, is a federally funded nutrition program that provides short-term support with long-term health benefits for young families. Each month, WIC provides food benefits that help families buy healthy foods such as milk, cheese, yogurt, fruits and vegetables, whole grains, cereal, eggs, baby food, formula, and more. But WIC is much more than just a food program. We offer nutrition assessments, counseling and education, referrals to health and social services, and breastfeeding support, including breast pumps, lactation counselors, and peer counselors. For families who cannot or choose not to breastfeed, WIC also provides formula. WIC benefits are available to income-eligible pregnant women, mothers of babies up to 6 months old, and breastfeeding mothers of infants up to 1 year, and children up to their 5th birthday. Fathers and guardians can also apply on behalf of their young children. In addition to monthly benefits, our WIC families also receive seasonal farmers market coupon booklets. This year, the Westchester County Health Department distributed more than 2,400 booklets valued at $25 each to help families buy fresh, local produce from area farmers markets through November. So you've heard a lot about the shutdown. So despite the partial federal government shutdown that's currently happening, Westchester's WIC families have continued to receive their full monthly benefits through October. The United States Department of Agriculture has used contingency and unspent funds to keep these vital services going. As the shutdown continues, we're receiving daily and weekly updates, and we're grateful that both tariff and state funds have helped to bridge any funding gaps. Until full federal operations resume, we are hopeful that additional stopgap funding will be made available to prevent any service disruptions. We continue to closely monitor any developments, and we will keep WIC's Westchester families informed if there are any changes. While these are uncertain times, we want to ensure that Westchester's youngest residents have the resources they need. To learn if WIC can benefit your family, please call us in Yonkers at 914-231-2510 or Portchester at 914-813-7244. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And that was Rachel Bykoff, who's the Women and Infants and Children's Director, doing an awesome job in letting us know all the things that were going on, and with Dr. Shalita Amler, our Commissioner of Health, trying to say that there's two things. And what I heard, again, that Rachel pointed out was, again, that there's a choice made by the Department of Agriculture to make sure to continue the funding for that particular program, for the WIC program, because, again, All of these programs are essential. They're not things that people are wanting to be engaged in because it doesn't mean they have nothing better to do, right? There's a lot of things that are happening here. So again, kudos for the Department of Agriculture doing the right thing for making sure that there's not impact at that level. And again, for our Women, Infants, and Children's program, it certainly can catch that anywhere on the Department of Health's website, health.westchester.gov.com. There is a link there for Women, Infants, and Children, or WIC. Both of those things, I think, were on the screen when I took a look at it earlier today. And certainly, this is an essential program, and how the program continues to adapt to the needs of Westchester's families and how residents can apply for assistance by going online or making a call to do that. With that, I'm going to ask our Deputy County Executive, Richard Wishney, to come up. And Richard has just been doing so many things and getting around everywhere in the county, but I'm sure he's also going to remind everyone to early vote.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Every Monday, we have an opportunity to share some important information with the press and the public. And we often talk about our nationally accredited and award-winning park system. And today we just have a few items that we want to mention to you. On Thursday, October 30th, from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., we're going to have the last opportunities this weekend for people to be scared by the sound. And that's, of course, at Playland Amusement Park. We have the Westchester's ultimate haunted destination, holds terrifying thrills, haunted walkthroughs, and spooky surprises. Of course, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, October 31st through November 1st, is the last opportunity. And you can check with the site, the recreation site, to purchase tickets and get a time assignment. And also happening this weekend, on Saturday, November 1st, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., we have the Blacksmith Workshop at the Alfred Del Bello Muscoot Farm. And we should mention at this time there is some construction going on Route 100. Access to the farm is still available. You can't go through, it's not a through street anymore until the work is completed, but you can get to the farm and take an opportunity to have a unique full-day workshop with master blacksmith Bill Fitzgerald to make their own items in our blacksmith shop. Wear comfortable shoes and bring lunch. I do have to tell you, there is a $100 fee for this opportunity. I'm sure they're giving out diamonds and gold with all this work. On Saturday, November 1st, from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., birding for beginners at the Marshlands Conservancy in Rye. For those interested in bird watching, this is a great way to learn some basics. You should bring binoculars. And then finally, on Saturday, November 1st, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., a fall hike to Untermeyer at the Lenoir Preserve in Yonkers. All ages can join for a pleasant 2-mile hike from Lenoir to Untermeyer Gardens, stopping to observe and learn about our region's natural history. The hike leaves Lenoir Nature Center promptly at 1:10 p.m. Don't be late. And that, Mr. County Executive, is the announcements for today.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That was our Deputy County Executive, Richard Wishney. And just doing some highlights. As always, we want to continue to remind people to download the Parks app, the official Westchester County Parks app, or whether it's on your iOS App Store for Apple devices, or Android, or the Google Play Store for those Android devices. You can get that. And there's also, every once in a while, coupons in there as well for discounts, that things that are happening in our park system. The 18,000 plus acres and 55 approximately facilities that we have that are your parks, and take advantage of them. It was good that the Deputy County Executive also pointed out in this case there is actually a fee for that particular one. Most of the times those things, there's no fee or very low fee, but that blacksmith work is very, very specialized, and I guess they have some tools that they utilize in materials, and that's what will happen in that particular thing. And make sure you do take a look at the website or your Parks app to be able, the parks.westchestergov.com or the app itself, for things like the construction that's going on the state roads on Route 100 up there. That is it basically shutting down access and going through, but you still have an ability to get to the Alfred B. DeBello Park that is at Muscoot, and be able to do those things. So today we had a lot of information that we had today. We started out with the mayor of the village of Ardsley, the 5-term mayor, Nancy Kabulian, and talking about everything that is happening in the village and some of the great things that have been done and the work that continues in the village of Ardsley. We had our commissioner from the Department of Social Services, Leonard Towns, tell us about what's happening with SNAP as far as the certifications and evaluations, and make sure that you don't ignore those calls. I know that we get a lot of kind of junk mail or junk text messages, and you say, wait, somebody's calling me to set up an appointment for the social services. No, it doesn't say give out your social security number, and we would never ask those kind of things in a phone call, never to do that and give out that personal information, but they're calling to set up an appointment with you. So be able to go through that certification, which we will be required to do twice a year for many things in the federal government levels, for Medicare and all those kind of things, as we're continuing to see the impacts of H.R. 1 that goes on. We were blessed to have the Commissioner of Health, Dr. Shalita Amler, and our WIC Director, Rachel Bykoff here. Women, Infant, and Children's Program is very supportive of women, infants, and children for healthy meals, healthy food, be able to purchase those different things, and we need to make sure that continues on. We are going to remind everyone again that this is that period of time. As the mayor pointed out, she's not running, but there are other folks that are on the ballot. In Westchester County, there's 25 early voting locations. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, it's 8 to 4. Tuesdays and Thursdays, 12 to 8. And on Saturday and Sundays, 10 to 6. And then you have Election Day coming up on the 4th. Make sure you make your voice heard. Utilize those opportunities. And if you're a Westchester voter, you can vote at any one of those 25 early voting locations, and then on November 4th you have to go to your specified voting location, your poll site, if you will. Certainly call the Board of Elections to get more information about that. And with that, I'm County Executive Ken Jenkins. Thank you so much for watching, and we really appreciate everyone's paying attention to this. Make sure that you talk to your federal representatives and say get in the room, and you should be able to watch out for these concerns that are unintended consequences to the people of Westchester. It could be yourself, your family, or a friend, to make sure that those things do not go unnoticed. Thanks so much for watching, and sooner or later you'll see our Board of Legislators and their reports going on for the budget that's coming up very soon.